Handcrafted and American made right here in the USA. B Pro Kennels is bringing you a premium built dog box unlike anything you've ever seen before. Built from a full tube frame, aluminum powder coated shell, built-in lockable storage, and oh, did you forget to charge those dog collars before you left? No worries, B Pro has you covered with their built-in solar panel and battery bank to take care of all your charging needs while out on the road chasing birds this fall. Give them a serious look at bprokennels.com. All good things start with a solid foundation. At Final Rise, all three of their premium Upland vests are built around the foundational waist belt to provide you all-day comfort and endless customization. With a secure waist belt and a thin, high-quality shoulder harness, which sits perfectly along the back, holding everything in place. Durable, premium Upland gear made here in my neighboring state of Heber, Utah. Check them out at finalrise.com. Also, be sure to check out the brand new Sidekick vest, which is the perfect ultra light, ultra minimalistic vest that you'll be rocking in the hills this season. You're listening to The Upland Rookie, a podcast presented by Upland Brits. This podcast is also sponsored by Inukshuk Professional Dog Food and Trinity Bretons, home of the Epinol Breton. Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Upland Rookie Podcast. I'm your host, Will Larson, and it is so good to be back with everyone today. I just rolled in from Texas about an hour ago, stopped at Domino's, got the kids some pizza. I know they didn't want Taco Bell, so we settled for Domino's. Texas, we were down there visiting some friends on vacation, and let me tell you, it was hotter than a mother down there. Oh my God, no offense to you Texans, but geez Louise, how do you do it? It was, oh my gosh. Okay, that'll be another podcast talking about the Texas heat. Try going down there with a 8-month pregnant wife and 5 children and trying to do something, because it was, oh my gosh. Okay, that's my rant about Texas. Anyways, I am flying by the seat of my pants right now trying to get this episode out, and I am so excited. Get a really good episode for you guys today. As you can probably tell, I had a little bit too much coffee to drink on the drive home. We did it straight through, 12 and a half, maybe 13 hours. Coming from Dallas back to Colorado. So back in the studio, aka Will's Garage, and I'm excited to bring you guys a couple of quick announcements before we dive into today's episode with Weston Hatten. Weston, he runs the Chukar 1 account over on the old Gram, and Weston and I had a great time chatting Chukars and habitat. And yeah, man, we have a great conversation. I really enjoyed my time with Weston, and I hope you guys will enjoy it as well. I'm sure you will. He's a great dude. We're in some great dogs and hunting Chukar, and we just have a great time. Chukar, as you may know, I have not shot a wild Chukar yet. I've never hunted a wild Chukar. I have not braved the hills yet and got myself in the condition I need to be to attempt that and be anywhere remotely successful. So talking with Weston here from Chukar 1 definitely got me going a little bit to maybe get a little motivated to hit those Chukar hills. So hey, I got a couple things for you. Number one, this is episode 49, if you didn't catch the drift already. Episode 50 is coming up next week. I am super excited for my special guest I have coming on next week's episode to celebrate episode 50. So make sure you're subscribed to the podcast. I can't tell you guys enough. Make sure you're subscribed, because you're going to get all the latest episodes, and you're not going to have to wait for me to post something on social media to get it in your inbox. So subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen. That would be great. Hey, if you could leave a rating and review, if you haven't already, that would be amazing. Rating and reviews for podcasters are huge because they just help the algorithms built into the podcast platforms. They higher, more reviews, the more ratings, these are going to show up higher in the feed when someone searches upland hunting or hunting dogs or something like that. So leave a rating and review if you haven't already. I would greatly appreciate it. Hey, don't forget, we have the Patreon page. Yes, I started a Patreon page about a month ago. I'm going to do a straight giveaway. I've been toying with how to do the giveaway for the Gunner Fan Kit 2.0. So Gunner Fan Kit is going to be for all Patreon members only. I said it, all Patreon members only. I might have said something different last week. I'm sorry. I did not decide finally how I was going to do the giveaway. So I'm doing a giveaway for the month of July. It is going strictly to Patreon members only. You can get in as a Patreon member for $5 a month or $5 a month and be entered into the giveaway. If you just want to sign up for July and enter into the giveaway, that's great. Just enter in for July, cancel it later, whatever. If you want to support the podcast, of course, please continue that. But so Patreon members, if you sign up for Patreon, there's 3 tiers. The lowest one is $5, next one is 10, and the level above that is 20. With each of those levels, you're going to get your name in the hat a bunch more times the higher level you go. So if you want to win the Gunner Fan Kit 2.0, this thing they've beefed this thing up over the 1.0 version they released several years ago. So this 2.0 is really sweet, goes together really nice, really long lasting battery. You can waterproof, really long lasting charge. It is a really sweet fan for your dog. And then we got July, August, September, October even. Those going to be hot months, so this is going to be a great fan kit. Throw on really any of your kennels. If you have a Gunner, it's going to fit really nice, but I'm sure it'll work with any kennel you have out there. So don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty darn sure it does. So again, get signed up for Patreon. I will pick a winner at basically August 1st. August 1st, I will pick the July winner for the Patreon giveaway. And it's going to be the Gunner Fan Kit 2.0. So all Patreon members will be entered into the giveaway. Again, head over to patreon.com/the Upland Rookie Podcast. You will be entered. I will pick a winner at random, and you guys can get your chance at winning a fan kit. So enough on that. Another thing I wanted to mention, you guys mentioned, or you probably noticed, a brand new sponsor of the podcast. Yes, I am very, very excited for B Pro Kennels. Yeah, B Pro Kennels. I have wanted a dog box for quite a while, and long story short, I started talking to Ben Proctor over at B Pro Kennels, and they are putting together some of the most innovative dog boxes I have seen on the market ever. If you try looking for a dog box, if you have multiple dogs especially, you're looking for a dog box, and it is painful to find one. Don't get me wrong, the kennels I've been rocking in my truck and here in my garage, which I still will own forever, have been great. They've been awesome, but the more dogs I'm getting, those kennels take up a lot of room in the back of my truck. Again, pros and cons to everything, but dog box has been something I've always wanted, be able to leave in the truck 24/7, but light enough where I can, take it in and out if I need to. So I made a switch, guys. I made a switch. Got rid of the topper, and I'm rocking a naked pickup right now. I know, it's a naked pickup with a deck system. And this dog box that I'm picking up from B Pro Kennels is going to fit right on top of my deck system in the back of my pickup. And let's just say it's going to be a 3-hole dog box, if you catch my drift. It's going to be a 3-hole for win and gauge. Wink, wink. Anyways, guys, Ben Proctor could not be a nicer guy. He's over in Utah making these boxes by hand. And again, like I said, with dog boxes, you're looking for these things online, and there's just not a lot out there. And the ones you'll find, you have to find a skilled professional to craft one and make one and find what it looks like and the dimensions. It's really complicated. Well, Ben has been putting the work in and designed an incredible badass dog box that has some really, really cool, innovative features. We are going to get Ben on the podcast here in the very near future to talk all about his design, how he came up with this, go in more of the nitty gritty details. But Ben is a brand new sponsor of the podcast with B Pro Kennels. He is crafting my custom 3-hole dog box as we speak. And so I'll have that hopefully in the next 5 or 6 weeks. So his lead time right now, like I said, is about 6 weeks. And I'm really excited, guys. I could go into a lot of things. Thing I'm most excited for, well, a couple things. Oh gosh, where do I start? Okay, I'll start here. I don't have all day. I am most excited probably for 2 things. One, the storage compartment on top. So again, I'm a neat freak. I love to have things organized and storage, but also safety and security. So to have a lockable storage system that sits just above the dog compartments is huge, but it gets better. So there is a built-in solar panel and battery pack, or battery bank. So the battery bank, I'm able to charge anything I need to off the solar panel and battery bank. They're putting in a big boy battery bank to this dog box. And the way Ben describes it is I'm going to be able to charge pretty much anything. Dog collars, fan. If I want to bring a freaking Traeger out there, I can run that off of this battery bank. That's just something I have not seen in a dog kennel or a dog box before. And so to have some of these premium features, it has marker lights on the outside. It's going to be sitting on top of my deck, so a little bit higher. Have LED floodlights. So when it's dark out, you're loading up dogs, everything's illuminated. You see what you're doing. And this thing is going to be a tank, but light enough where I can still take it in out of the truck if I need to. So I'm going to go into this a lot more in detail as I get some more drawings from Ben, talk to him a little bit more. Again, we've just kind of landed the final details, dimensions, and all that kind of stuff. Again, I'm doing a 3-hole. He has a 2-hole box right now that's out on the website, and you can check that out and you can order it right online. Or if you have questions, of course, reach out to Ben Proctor at bprokennels.com. You can also check out his Instagram. It's, I believe it's just bprokennels on Instagram. I think you're on Facebook, Ben. I'm not quite sure. But so we are doing a special giveaway, or not giveaway, sorry. We're doing a special promo code or discount code for all the Upland Rookie podcast listeners. So everyone's going to get this code for the entire month of July. So the entire month of July, you are going to use code Rookie30. Rookie30, that's Rookie, ROOKIE 30, and that is going to save you 30% off of your dog box order with B Pro Kennels. So if you want to save 30% off a dog box, if you've been thinking about a dog box for a while and maybe just haven't pulled the trigger yet, haven't found what you needed, guys, this is the best time to get a dog box. And like I said, it is not your traditional old school diamond plated dog box. This is all aluminum, powder coated, and it looks so freaking nice. The powder coated outside, the vents, like I said, the floodlights, the marker lights, the storage, the solar panel, the lockable doors, lockable storage. Obviously, those things are huge. So you are going to want to check out B Pro Kennels, and like I said, code Rookie30. It's going to save you 30%. There's no other time you will get 30% off a dog box of this kind of quality. The space and compartments for the dogs are going to be perfect. Whether you have big old labs, then that 2-hole might be perfect. Going to sit right in between the wheel wells of your pickup. If you want, if you have little, maybe smaller dogs like, Vizslas, small GSPs, Brittany's, 3-hole might be something that works really well for you. Maybe you have, several dogs. And so really excited, really, really thankful to have Ben and B Pro Kennels a part of this podcast. And like I said, we're going to have Ben on here explaining a lot more about the dog box and get his take on it and learn a little bit more about who he is. So like I said, code rookie30 save you 30% off the B Pro dog box. And guys, I do not think you'll be disappointed. So I'll be doing some more stuff on that. Again, only the month of July 2022, you're going to save that 30% on the dog box. So that's all I got to say. Check them out, bprokennels.com. I am starting to ramble now. It is very late here in Colorado, and I'm going to start introducing our guest of the podcast. Like I mentioned, it is Weston Hatten of Chukar 1, and we dive into Chukar, habitat, shotguns, you name it, conditioning. Of course, everyone talks conditioning for Chukar hunting. So anyways, without further ado, enjoy this episode.
Yeah, so live here in Reno, Nevada. Was born in California. Went to kind of Washington State out of high school, played baseball up there.
Nice.
For 2 years, transferred to UNR, so University of Nevada, Reno. Played 3 years here, and then my parents ended up moving up after I graduated high school, a little town just out there called Genoa. So I've been coming back here since 2014 anyways, but ended up staying after I graduated college. So been here ever since.
Very cool. Very cool. I think you're my second baseball athlete here on the podcast. Cal Hardy, I had on a couple weeks ago. He's big into baseball, his family as well. So
good. Sweet. That's good.
Got a little trend going there. I got to ask, being in Nevada, are you a hockey fan at all? Are you getting into the Knights at all?
I have buddies that are into it that are from Vegas, but to me, I haven't really gotten into it. I watched the Sharks growing up. My dad's a Bay Area sports fan and sports runs in our family, but that's as far as I've gotten into it.
Okay. Well, maybe I can change that by the end of the episode. I always like to talk a little hockey. It's always fun, but that's cool. How's summer going for you so far? And you said you were trying to do a little fishing here and there, and you got a trip to Alaska coming up, right?
Yeah, so do a little fly fishing on the side. Fishing for me is more to pass the time more than anything, just something to do. Definitely enjoy hunting more, but fly fishing is good, passes time. I'm into it. It's fun. Yeah, I got a trip to Alaska coming up.
Nice.
So about a 10-day trip up there. So it should be a good one too as well.
Nice. You can do a lot of fishing up there. Is that the goal, or just kind of vacation sightseeing?
Yeah, so that's all fishing trips. So I think it's, flying to Dillingham, Bush Plains to the Nishiak River in the back there. And I think we got 6 days of fishing for kings and silvers, and then fly back. So yeah, it's a complete fishing trip.
Oh, that's going to be great, man. Alaska sounds awesome.
Cool. It should be a good time.
That's going to be cool. Is it getting too hot to run the dogs in the middle of the day right now by you, or are you just trying to run them in the morning and at night?
Yeah, so we're just getting kind of to that 90-degree weather. We haven't had it really in Reno yet. So summer's kind of going full circle here. So yeah, definitely run them in the morning or late afternoon, or you can take them up to the mountains too. Try to get above that 6,000 foot elevation and go up there and just let them stretch their legs and stuff. So it's always good just to keep them conditioned.
That's great. Well, Weston, how about you kind of like, let us into your story a little bit. Like how did you get into hunting specifically? I guess outdoors. How did you get in the outdoors? Did you grow up with it? Did you start later in life? Like catch us up a little bit.
Yeah. So I owe it all to my dad. Overall, he got me out super early. I mean, I remember going hunting with him when I was 4 years old, just being in the truck, walking around, whatever it may be. And so we grew up in California. So we grew up kind of, dove hunting and valley quail and mountain quail hunting is mostly what we did overall growing up. So I think I started the first time I got to hold a gun and shoot. I was 8 years old. I think we went morning dove hunting. I shot about 4 boxes of shell, and I think I hit 2 birds. So two for 100 is my debut.
Not terrible for a young kid. Not terrible.
Yeah. So I shot a little single shot 20 gauge Pietro Beretta. We still got it. So hopefully, my daughter or son one day will get to shoot that. So pass it down the line there.
That's cool, man. That's cool. So did that kind of just continue to evolve as you got older? And then when did, I guess catch me up as far as like, when did you start getting like your own dogs, and when did you kind of like take it to the next level?
Yeah, I think my dad would say it turned into an obsession, but I beg to differ. But so we got I think kind of the first family dog that we had to start hunting. We got a red lab my 8th grade year, and I was, free reign to take her out, go quail hunting, take some buddies after school. I remember my senior year, we didn't have a 7th period, so we'd run up to the mountains. Mountain quail are only about an hour away out of Fresno where I grew up. So we'd run up there and go hunting. And then kind of funny story how I ended up, coming back to Reno. We were, I was playing up at Washington State and just had not a great situation going on there. So I was looking to transfer. And when I transferred, my mom said, "Hey, if you come back to Reno, maybe we'll get you a dog." A dog. So my grandpa was big into chukar hunting, and he had English pointers, and that's how I ended up getting my first dog. I got her out of Die Hard Gun Dogs out of Susanville, Janesville area, just about an hour 15 north of Reno here, and they helped me out a ton. I bought her. Didn't quite let my mom know yet, but I bought her going to summer ball. I was playing summer ball in Longview, Washington. So bought Lucy. And then from there, they held it for me summer. So I paid for all the food and the lodging there.
Nice.
And then picked her up. And I got back, I think in August from summer ball. And I told my dad, "Hey, we got to go pick up a dog next week. So you got to work on mom."
So your mom didn't know at this point, right?
No, I mean, she had mentioned it, coming back and get the dog, but she didn't know I'd already bought it. And so
that's awesome.
Yeah. So, and that's how I ended up with Lucy. So that was my first, bird dog that was, completely mine. And, my parents helped me out. I was obviously a college baseball player. So we spent a lot of time on the road. So it was probably, 50-50 split, between my place and their place when I was just going through college. And then when I was done with college, took Lucy full time. So.
That's cool. Sorry, you might have mentioned this. What kind of dog is Lucy?
Lucy's an English pointer.
English pointer. Okay. Yep. Okay. So what again at that time of your life? What led you to the pointer at that time? And then take me through what was those first couple seasons like for you with her?
Yeah. So I got the English pointer because that's what my grandpa's always hunted with. He's been chukar hunting since the 70s. Okay. 60s, 70s, here out of Nevada. One second, let this dog out.
You're good.
So he always had them around, and they're great family dogs, just having them around the house and stuff. So that's how I ended up with getting an English pointer on that side of things. And then, the first couple of seasons, I didn't realize how much my grandpa knew. He always used to just let his dogs go out, run around. I was like, this is great. When I didn't have a dog, they go on point. We walk up, we shoot them. I think
it's easy, right?
Yeah, there's nothing to it, but what I did realize is, he's retired. He's hunting five, 6 times a week. The dogs are getting on thousands of birds a year, so I took that for granted when I got my first dog, and I was a little kill crazy. So when I first started, I'd shoot everything, it didn't matter if it was pointed, young or, not pointed, flying over my head at, 60 yards, I just wanted to go out and get some birds on that side of things. But then once I started realizing and talking to more people, there's kind of an art to it, and getting dogs set up the way you want to hunt and the style that you hunt, the terrain you hunt. So I really didn't do Lucy. I did Lucy a disservice when I first started because I shot everything,
Sure.
And then I was talking to the owner about it from Fred Bird, who Die Hard Gun Dogs. He goes, "Have you ever just thought, only shoot the pointed birds?" I was like, "No, why would I do that? That sounds crazy,
Why would anyone do that? When they're flying, you shoot them, right?
Yeah. I was like, hey, birds go up. I'm expecting them to go down. But so I did that one day, and I went out there and I said, "Hey, I'm not going to shoot anything till, she points." And I think it took about, 3 coveys, sailing over the head, didn't shoot them, get back on them. And then finally it just all came together. She pointed, I shot 1 or 2, retrieve. It was good. And the next covey was a point, no bust. And I was like, hey, this is kind of cool. This is what I'm into. So that was kind of cool. So then, I started kind of honing in on that. So I had Lucy for 3 seasons. And then unfortunately she tore ACL, her first one. So then I was in the need of another dog just because I was really getting into it, and going just about every weekend. And I was going to get one anyways, but it kind of accelerated the process.
Sure.
When you only have one dog. So then I ended up getting a German short hair out of Utah, and that's Summer. And so she turns 3 this July.
Okay.
And, but what I was able to do with her is I already had all these, lessons and errors and failures with Lucy that I got to create kind of like my ultimate little bird machine that, that I like it and, hunts the distance I want and can kind of put it all together for me.
Absolutely. It's kind of like kids too. It's like the firstborn, you just kind of figure things out and you don't really know, as parents. And then the second one comes along and it's like, oh, okay, we've done this before. You kind of know, the name of the game at least.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I haven't got to that stage of my life, but I'll take your word for it.
You'll get there. You'll get there. It gets easier. I promise. It gets easier.
Yeah.
You at least think you know what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
It can change. So catch me up then. So do you still have Lucy and the short hair right now?
Yep. Yeah. So Summer turns 3 in July and Lucy just turned 6. So they're about 3 years apart. And so Lucy tore her other ACL 2 years ago. She has double ACL tear.
Oh, on opposite knees?
Yep, opposite. Yeah, so kind of the surgery is called like a TDAP surgery, and it's really, you attach it to the metal rod. So they really can't tear it again. They might not get the full strength back.
Sure.
But the other one she fell into a cattle guard in the snow. Kind of unfortunate.
Oh.
But, a lot of dogs end up tearing the other one anyway. So it just kind of happens. But now she's good. So she's ready.
She's ready to roll.
Mm-hmm.
That's good, man. That's good. So what's the biggest difference with the English pointer and the short hair when it comes to the type of hunting you're doing?
So I'd say, my pointer goes a lot farther than my short hair does. She just hunts at a different pace, a different speed. And so with the double ACL tear, I really try to look at the country I hunt with her. I try to not to hunt stuff that's too rocky on the feet. Just more softer ground, you could say, because she's kind of hard on her pads.
Okay.
As far as that goes, and she's a sprinter. She just sprints, A to B. So it's a lot faster paced hunt. Okay. And then
it sounds like sorry to interrupt. You're kind of picking the terrain a little bit, and you'll kind of like maybe put this dog down for this. Okay, that's cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, absolutely. If there's like a flat rim hunt, a little elevation game, and you got a big old rim to go hunt. I'll probably take the pointer, take Lucy out on that side of thing. And then also I can't hunt her that long just with the ACL, just the endurance side of it. She gets tired out pretty fast. So, maybe a 1.5 to 3 hour hunt max. Sure. I'd say it's probably 3 hours is max. I'll go with her on that side of things. And then you go to the short hair and she's like, a lot slower, more meticular, probably hunts, 80 to 180 yards, a lot closer overall. And just is slower, she's kind of just plotting around, and hunts right now in front of you, comes and checks in on me. It's a much different style than the pointer is, than my pointer is for me.
Pointer's kind of like, hop out of the truck, see you later.
Oh yeah. I mean, she's just gone. You put the collar on, and she's gone till she goes and finds birds. And that was the one thing that, that was always nice, even when she was younger, she always had an incredible nose. I can't remember a place we didn't go and she didn't find birds, even when she was busting them. She always had the talent for it.
Sure.
I was a bad owner to start. I just didn't know. I didn't know how to reel that in and capture all that energy inside of her.
Totally. Yeah. And a pointer for your first bird dog too. I mean, that's a lot to learn and, figure out, okay, is this how all bird dogs are? Or is this just, oh, it's a pointer. Oh, that's why.
Yeah.
That's cool, man. That's cool. So I guess with both your dogs right now, have you done most of the, I guess, like basic training yourself, bird intros? Are you you have a mentor or someone you're using to help you?
Yeah. So I think Lucy, we sent back to where we got her from for 3 months. I went over summer ball back into Minnesota. Actually, I was playing summer ball back there one summer, and my parents, didn't want to volunteer to watch her the whole summer. So after 3 years of baseball, watching her, so we sent up there and she did a little training there. And then summer, I did everything on my own with her. So really, just with summer was kind of just a bird introduction, shot fire, gunfire introduction, and then I hunted her at 3 weeks or 3 months and 3 weeks old. I had her out in the field hunting her. Cause that's what I had, no collars or anything, but just kind of following around, already gun broker, and just to get her introduction, into some birds and stuff. And they kind of just took off from there.
Yeah. That's great, man. That's great. Good for you. That's a fun thing when you get to work with your own dog and kind of see it all pay off in the end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
That's cool. How was this past season for you? Looking back last year, any kind of like highlights that stood out to you? Any big takeaways?
Yeah, it's probably the best year I've had, with both dogs on the ground. I thought I wouldn't say there was a variety of mountain ranges that were really good in Nevada, Oregon, or Idaho. I hunt kind of up and down the West Coast. I'm not signatory just to Nevada. But everywhere we went, we found birds, birds that held, and, seemed like they were doing good in the areas that we hunted. So overall great season. Dogs stayed healthy this year. So that was good. 2
healthy dogs is important.
No big vet bill at the end of the year.
Oh, jeez.
That's always a plus. As far as that goes, and no broken shotgun, stuff like that. So
that's good. That is good. Did you have a broken shotgun in years past?
Yeah. So 2 years ago, I broke my over and under twice in the season.
Oh, no.
One time I took a header kind of off a cliff in the snow and just snapped it in half, my stock. And then another one, I kind of fell and one day, and it kind of got a little loose. And then I had a buddy, taking my shotgun from one car to the other, and the case wasn't completely closed, and it fell out on the asphalt and snapped it again.
Oh no! So the same gun after it got repaired, or different?
Yeah, same gun. Oh, so that one had 2 breaks. So I'm on the 3rd stock on that one.
Oh gosh, jeez, man, that's brutal.
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Are you, I guess, talk a little about, were you traveling kind of, like you mentioned, out of state quite a bit? And are you chasing things besides Chukar, or would you say, like, are you hunting Chukar 90%, 80%?
Yeah, I'd say it's Chukar probably 95%.
Wow. Okay.
Chukar and Huns.
Okay.
I take one trip a year. I go up to Washington. I got a good buddy of mine that lives up there, and just go hunt pheasants up on his property. So I do that trip with my dad every year. Nice. We've been doing that for about the last 3 or 4 years. So yeah, I've been going up there doing that. And then other than that, mostly just Chukars and Huns, and then quail when we see them and stuff like that. But the majority just Chukars and Huns.
Yeah, that's awesome. Now your dogs, if they're hunting Chukar, say 95% of their life, when you go, say on a pheasant trip once a year, how is that adjustment for them, for you? Is it like, whoa, this is different, guys, reeled in, or like, what's that like?
Yeah. So I'd say Summer is really good at it, just because of the style. The way she hunts is a lot slower. Lucy, when I first used to take her, so Lucy, just like I said, I did everything probably wrong with her when I was growing up. When I first started with her, she used to just chase quail at my parents' house. She'd go find them in the neighborhood, right? And so whenever we'd go, Chukar hunting, say you get a covey of quail on the bottom of the canyon or whatever, she'd be great out of the truck on them. But then once she saw them, it's like, oh, well, I'm back at home. I'm going to chase them all day long. We're just going to go do this. And so what I found is when I went up and hunted pheasants and quail up there, because they're all mixed in and kind of washed in the same areas, that it probably took 1 or 2 hunts to adjust back to Chukars and Huns. Just because they would run, or she would run, just kind of pressure them too much. But it hasn't seemed to bother Summer at all. She just goes back and forth and does good. So she gets it.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. You have any big trips planned this fall? Anything different, or just kind of stick to your routine?
I like to go up to Montana and shoot Sharpies. Kind of do a late season hunt, go Sharpies, pheasants, and Huns.
Yeah.
That's kind of on the bucket list. Like to add some more species in there.
Yeah.
As far as that goes. But other than that, mostly, pretty much spend every weekend Chukar hunting, awesome. Somewhere, whether it's Oregon, Idaho, shot them in Washington too, when we're up there.
Nice.
And then obviously Nevada. Okay. But yeah, just for the most part, that's what I just stick to. That's kind of what I get the most enjoyment out of.
Yeah. That's cool. Do you ever venture over to Utah at all for Chukar?
I haven't. That's the one say I haven't shot them in. So yeah, haven't quite made it over there. They got the extended season over there.
Oh, do they?
I'm kind of burned out. by the time it gets there. You're like, all right. So a break is good, and then probably I think I might take one trip down to Arizona. Got a good friend down there that wants to go. Okay. To kind of do the 3 species hunt down there. So I might go do that, and he lives down there, and got it all dialed in. So that'd be a fun one to do too.
That's awesome. And you haven't done Arizona before?
Nope, haven't done Arizona. Been invited, multiple times. I just haven't made the trip down there.
Yeah. That's definitely, Arizona's definitely on my list. I was supposed to go last year and plans got kind of wonky, but definitely want to get down there. So I sent my dog down there with a buddy of mine. So he took my dog down there, but I didn't. I wasn't down there myself. But it was kind of just as good, honestly. I was more excited for my dog to get on some different quail than even for myself. So I don't know. I was bird dog.
The update pictures.
I don't know. That was like, I don't know. I was super happy. I was like, oh, that's cool. My dog. Inukshuk Professional Dog Food is the highest energy dog food in the world. Inukshuk's dense formulations ensure that your pup in training and your seasoned bird dog get what they need to succeed in the field. Inukshuk works hard so your dogs can work harder. Check them out at inukshukpro.com. Trinity Bretons is the home of the Épagneul Breton, also known as the French Brittany. All Trinity Breton dogs are from champion bloodlines that are field tested and family approved. For over 33 years, Trinity Bretons has worked to offer you the best bred Épagneul Breton in the country. Check them out at trinitybretons.com. Also on Facebook and Instagram at Trinity Bretons. Got to have that experience, and he can't tell me about it, but that's another story. Well, that's cool, man. Chukar. Again, I've hunted pen raised chukar. That's all I've hunted. But hunting wild chukar are definitely on my list of things to get to. Sounds like a blast, and I just think it's pretty badass. It's fun. It's almost addicting, being an athlete before and stuff like that. Pushes your physical side of things. Your mental side, you're like, your dog's on point. You just hiked 100 yards up. You got to go another 100, so you're pushing yourself, you got kind of the adrenaline going. And then, it's like, birds get up and then you black out for a second. That's what I tell people. It's fun. So that's always good. Yeah. I mean, so when you talk to chukar hunters, the big thing you hear about is, conditioning yourself, conditioning your dogs. Besides like the physical strength in that, like what's maybe some encouragement you'd tell someone maybe who's wanting to try chukar hunting, get into it? Like what's something besides, I guess, the physical conditioning you would say is like a really important thing?
Yeah, I'd say, probably the most important thing is, don't think you're going to go out there and, shoot your limit the first time. It's kind of an art, right? There's so many different factors, that you learn based on the conditions or how your dog's pointing, the terrain you're hunting, to the escape cover. Are you in the right area? Are you not in the right area? Is it early in the year? Are you on, the north side? Is it snow? Are you on the bird off south side? There's so much different that goes into it once you start talking to these guys. And what I've kind of learned, I didn't hunt chukars until I got to Nevada. And so I've only been hunting them about 6 years overall. And then a little bit before in high school, we'd come up and hunt with my grandpa there. But other than that, there's a lot that goes into it that you just wouldn't think about until you get out there and start hunting them.
Yeah. How long did it take you to kind of, I guess, figure out the chukar, like their habits, the habitat? Like how long of a big of a learning curve was that for you to figure kind of out their patterns?
I think it probably took me about 3 or 4 years. So I felt like, I could go comfortable and go to a new spot and, feel comfortable I was going to get into birds or whatever it may be. I think, when I first started going, I was in college, so I didn't have, much time to go run around in the desert as I like. Now, I go scouting, probably starting after, the 4th of July, go find new areas or areas, I wanted to check out, or areas that we always do hunt, just to see what the hatch is doing. Sure. I think one of the cool things about Nevada, we have such diverse ecosystem habitat out there, that there's always usually somewhere that's pretty good, has a pretty good hatch, because there's so different terrain, from hunting north of Reno to, hunting out of Winnemucca, Battle Mountain to Elko. It's just, there's so many different landscape and terrain that you'll find somewhere that probably is producing that year. It's just whether or not you have enough time or to go see them all, for one. And gas prices were in that $6, you'd have a lot more scouting time.
Right. Might pick one mountain range and stay there for a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. So there's just different factors like that. But yeah, probably 3 or 4 years, and then probably the tactics of it, probably 4 years. Dogs pointing downhill, setting yourself up for the shots that you want to take on the hill.
Yeah.
For the most part, because, the shooting is challenging. There's rocks, there's different terrain, it's uneasiness, whatever it is. But once you kind of figure out, what shots you hit really well, and when you go approach that dog, what shot are you, setting yourself up for? Is it your best shot? If you can't hit a right to left crosser, don't approach your dog from underneath it on that side, go to the other side. Just different stuff like that, factors into it.
Yeah. That's good. I was going to actually expand a little bit on that. Like, so let's take that for example. Let's say your dog's pointing downhill.
Yep.
Talk about like, what's your tactic, I guess, for dog downhill or even a dog pointing uphill? Like, where are you going to come in at?
Yeah. So downhill is probably the toughest shot, depending on how steep the terrain is, in chukar hunting, right? They're flying downhill. And you think, everyone tells you the bird's flying straight away, shoot it, block it out, right? And shoot right on it. But really, when they're going downhill, you almost want to see the bird, above your sight, because it's actually flying down like this. And otherwise, you're just skipping off its back.
Oh, sure.
So you always want to, I know guys that, when they go hunting, their dog's pointing down, they'll go walk all the way around, go 50, 60 yards, come all the way up underneath to get that dog like it's pointing back down at them.
Oh, wow.
So they're underneath the bird, and get them to fly over the top of you, because that's the slower thing. I always tell guys, the best way to kill chukars is when they're still flapping their wings, right? If they're when they take off downhill, they'll maybe get 3 or 4
start gliding,
wings, and they're gliding. They're already into that glide, and that's hard to kill birds like that. Not saying you can't, but it's harder shooting. And so they're pointing straight down. I have a funny thing this year. Summer was pointing up above me in this spot, and I start walking up. I'm about probably 120 yards from her. And I start walking up there, and she's pointing still down at me. And now the chukars hear me coming, walking through the stage. And now they start running up towards her. Uh-oh. They see her and start running back down towards me. And I go, oh, this isn't good for them. This is a good sandwich.
They're nervous.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's an ideal shooting. You want the dog pointing down towards you. Okay. You underneath the birds just kind of create that, where they almost just fly over the top. It's a slow flight. So they'll be flying over the top of you.
Okay.
And that's your best shooting that you're going to get.
So will you kind of like almost like if you're hunting waterfowl, like you're pointing almost straight up as they're going over top?
So you'll have birds that go over the top, or, off to the side, those crossers left to right or right to left, on that side of things.
Okay. I hate crossing shots. That's my worst. I hate a crosser. It always happens when it's like really close to me, like a pheasant or something gets up and they're really close range and they go like a crossing shot. I'm like, crap, I know I'm going to miss this. So let's say, take the example, say your dog, well, I guess will chukar always want to fly downhill?
For the most part.
That's their natural.
I mean, you might find, the only time they really fly off hill, maybe you jump on the bottom of the canyon, early in the year on water, or just driving roads and stuff like that. Or if super windy, birds will go down to the draws and stuff like that. And sometimes they'll fly up. Most of the time they'll fly up and then sail back down somewhere.
Okay. All right. So let's say your dog's pointing uphill. You're behind your dog. Your dog's pointed uphill. They're on point. Will you come around the front of your dog to flush them back downhill? Or will you come up behind your dog and wait for the birds?
Right behind it. So okay. I want to see like their bars. The chukar have the bars on them. I want to see their bars like underneath me. That's kind of what I'm looking for.
Because you want that over the head shot, right?
Yeah, you want them slower, right? They're beating their wings. It's kind of like a shot. It's like, pick them out like ducks, when you stand up and they're flaring like at you. Yeah. Kind of the same kind of feeling.
Okay. Very good. That's good, man. That's a good piece of advice right there. Talk about their habitat a little bit and kind of what when you're scouting, for example, like what are you kind of like looking for? And also, I guess, so Nevada, are you guys getting a lot of snow? Is snow your moisture? Like, because you're not getting a lot of rain, I'm guessing, right?
We get some rain. Definitely. We've gotten quite a bit of rain this spring. But most of our mountain ranges, just like anything, just the snowpack in the mountain ranges. Fill the springs, fill the creeks, and the rivers kind of in the area. For terrain wise, you're looking for broken rock, cheatgrass. There's different habitats in Nevada. You get some areas that are real rocky, with sagebrush, broken rock with sagebrush mixed in between, if it hasn't burned. If it's burned, it could be bunch grass, cheatgrass. kind of the longer grass on that side of things. First thing I always look for, whether or not I'm looking on Onyx or driving into a canyon to go scout, is water, right? You got to have the water as kind of the foundation for these birds. There could be guzzlers in Nevada. We do have guzzler ranges, that don't support enough wildlife on the springs. But yeah, guzzlers or spring seeps, you're trying to, eventually you're trying to find the seeps that aren't on the map. Those are the good ones.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Birds are using when you're out there, take out your GPS when you're hiking around and mark those. And that's what you're really looking for.
Okay. Yeah. So, water and then food, as far as they're eating bugs, crickets, things like that.
Yeah. So depending on their age, the newborns and stuff will be eating crickets, insects, in the roads and stuff like that early in their stage of life. And then eventually they'll go to just a straight, grass diet. I've seen them eat, wild onions. I've seen them eat berries, bad, in harsh winters come in, they have like choke cherries in them, whatever it may be. But for the most part, cheatgrass, when the green up starts happening, when, you get that first rain in November or October, they move off the springs, go up on the hill, and that's where they're getting all their water from, is that green up.
Gotcha. Okay. And what's your favorite way to eat a chukar? Do you have any good recipes or ways that you like to prepare your wild chukar?
Chukar nuggets is my favorite.
Chukar nuggets.
Yeah. So you're just breading them just like a chicken nugget, but chukar nuggets. So you'll take them, breast them, cut the fillets out of the breast on that side of things, pound them, eggs, flour. And then from there you'll go breadcrumbs, and then you just kind of grill them from there.
Oh, nice. Okay. That sounds great. Are we dipping these in like a little Chick-fil-A sauce, or what are we dipping these things in? Hey, you still there?
Yeah, I got you now.
Okay, cool.
You just came back. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay.
I was gonna say, are we dipping these in Chick-fil-A sauce, ranch? What do you kind of?
Yeah, I've done Chick-fil-A for the most part. You don't need anything.
Okay.
When they get tenderized like that, they're good.
You're just going straight.
Watch out for the BBs in them, but other than that, you should be good.
Straight nugget. Mm-hmm. That sounds really good. Well, cool, man. I thought it'd be fun. I got a couple questions here on Instagram. I thought it'd be fun to ask you. So put out a poll to a couple people, and let me pull this up real fast. Oh, we got quite a few. Look at that. All right. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I got you.
All right, perfect. Not going to ask that one. Chris Majet. I'm not going to do that. Chris also asks, does anyone use flushers for chukar? I always see pointers. Have you ever seen flushing dogs?
Yeah. So I know guys that take labs out and go hunt that way. Kind of the big thing now I see on kind of like, the guided hunts or whatever it may be is the pointer. And then, you got a cocker spaniel that comes in and flushes on that side of things and does the retrieve as well. But yeah, definitely seen flushers out there early in the year, around water or, hunting rims. I've seen guys do it, get up to rim, have labs right in there. And like I said, just like anything, you read a dog, and once they start, getting birdie or whatever, you get up on them. And yeah, it's the same kind of deal, just probably a little quicker pace when it happens like that.
Sure. Very cool. Doug asks, gauge, load, semi-auto, or over under? I think that's kind of just generally maybe for you, or I guess what are you using?
Yeah. So I shoot a 20 gauge. I kind of shoot two guns that I kind of rotate back and forth. So I shoot a Browning Satori CXS over and under. So that's probably my main bread and butter gun. I use, 80% of the time I shoot that. And then I shoot a Beretta Eureka 220 gauge auto. I'll take that out time for time. Maybe I don't have enough. Maybe a little shorter time on the hill that day, a little time constraint,
extra shell.
Yeah. Try to get it done a little quicker on that side of things. Shoot extended choke tubes on both my guns.
Okay.
The over and under, I run IC mod. That's what I've always shot.
Okay. In both barrels?
And on the other one, no, IC and mod.
Oh, IC and mod.
IC on the bottom, proof cylinder, and then mod on top.
Okay.
And then on the auto, I shoot an improved mod. extended choke tube. Both are 28-inch barrels, so you can say with the extended choke tubes, they're 29-inch barrels. So
yeah, that's great, man. That's great. Which is the gun? Which one did you have a couple broken stocks with?
that was the over and under.
Okay.
Yeah, so those start adding up. Those are like 350 a stock.
Oh yeah, and yeah, get the.
And then they had like a shortage with COVID.
Oh geez.
And I think I couldn't get one for about 4 months. So the next time they came in, I bought two. Just in case.
Smart man. Good for you. We got someone else. Crack O'Dawn Cockers. What is one mistake not to make in the Chukar Hills?
Don't bring enough water for your dogs. That's probably the main thing early in the year. Pack extra. Right, your dog's just out there trying to have fun, and those dogs will do just about anything for you. So make sure you have enough water for them, because you can get back to your truck and your dog sounds like a mower that just went mowing the yard for 4 hours. I mean, it's heat as far as that goes. Yeah, just make sure you bring enough water. You don't realize they're closer to the ground than you are, so they just feel that heat a lot more than you would.
Sure. That's good. Under 40 yards, preferred shotgun, auto loader, or brake action. Sounds like you kind of run both, right?
Yeah. So, 40 yards, that's pretty typical shot when you're out in the field.
Let's see. Tips for recognizing good spots while scouting. I think you talked about water. Is there anything else you'd add to that?
Water, and then count how many chicks they have, I guess.
They'll tell you the healthy population numbers, right?
Yeah, just kind of how the hatch is in that area. And then, like you said, you could go to one mountain range across the highway, and one could have a really good hatch and the other one couldn't. One got more storms than the other. So just pay attention to that. Don't think just because one area is good, the other side's better, or vice versa. Just kind of do your due diligence when you're scouting, and you kind of figure it out from there.
Yeah. Does Nevada do any kind of like reports on Chukar numbers and kind of preseason?
Yeah, so they've done it for a while. I think they've gone back to even the 90s a little bit, maybe early 2000s they did. And I think they're going to stop it coming up. The numbers are great, just because it is one of the actual only recordings of Chukar populations across the states. And I think that's kind of the cool part. But what ends up happening, you get these things, people don't go scouting, right? You get online and then you look at the report, and then they see the best report, and where does everyone end up going? And, so basically you're hammering down on the best population of birds that's, in the area. And not saying that, hunters, for the majority, a lot of hunters aren't killing majority of the birds. There's predation, or, mostly winter kill is what I kind of contributed to, because you got to think about it, probably about 10% of the Chukar hunters are killing 90% of the birds, the same guy, and I know the guys that go out, every weekend, and they're getting one bird or no birds, they're seeing them, but they're just not getting them, and that's just kind of how it goes, just with anything.
Yeah, absolutely. That's good. And then All Bets Are Off asks, what is their average mileage per bird and elevation gain?
Don't know. I don't know. I know summer last year, I think I don't have it off the top of my head. I don't have my book here, but I keep a log, and she was like 2.1 bird per mile for a dog. And then I think, I don't know what mine was exactly, but I'd say for most part, your dogs usually double what you do. Sometimes even, triple.
Sure.
For the most part. And it just depends on how good the year is, right? That number could fluctuate up and down, or you can go per hunt or per mile on that side of things.
Yeah. Okay. Got one more just came in here. Brandon Explore. What are some key things to consider when traveling somewhere for a Chukar hunt?
Well, so that's kind of what I just carry with me in my truck. So you got tire repair kit, you got a jack, extra tires, sometimes 2 tires, depending on where you're going, how rocky it is. I always keep, especially if I'm by myself, I keep a sleeping bag, air mattress, just kind of everything if you get stuck out there, extra food, cooler of food, maybe some summer sausage, something, it's not perishable real fast on that side of things. As far as when I go, just as far as in my bag, just the essential stuff, water, snacks, food, As far as that goes, maybe a candy bar for a little sugar rush on the hill.
Oh yeah.
I got a fire starter in there, extra gloves. I carry a face mask, like a full, like a ski mask would be.
Yeah.
You never know if the wind picks up or whatever that is. Extra sweatshirt. Say, maybe start off, weather's supposed to come in later in the day. You start off in just a long sleeve t-shirt, keep an extra sweatshirt on your bag. And then baby wipes, of course, for those emergencies on the hill too.
There you go. Yeah. That's good, man. Good list. You just rattled off there.
Yeah.
No, I surprised you with that question. Have you ever gotten stuck out in the Chukar country? Anything kind of go wrong?
I haven't had Chukar. I'm trying to think. Yeah. Well, I can't say that. Last year we got stuck. There was a Chukar dinner in Winnemucca last year, and we were going to that, and we were coming off the hill, and this hill was it was set up pretty weird. So basically we were coming down and I kind of thawed out from the day. It was muddy, no snow or anything, but the drainage for the road was on the side of the hill dropping off. And so the mud kind of slid us down in there. And so I had no option but to basically drive over sagebrush just to get out, because we weren't getting back the other way. We were hunting by ourselves, just me and my buddy. And so I go off the road, and as soon as we get off the road, we basically, we plane out the back and the front. So in kind of a dirt mound. We were stuck, and the ground was frozen. We had shovels and everything like that, but luckily we got kind of the new collars, the 200i Garmin's.
Oh, nice.
Have inReach on it. And so finally I told my buddy, we were digging for about an hour. And I go,
frozen
dirt. And we were stuck. And I told, hey, I'm going to go grab this case of beer. I'm going to start a fire and we'll wait for somebody to get us out of here.
There you go. So who came and got you?
His brother did. So his brother and his brothers, they live out there. So they came and got us about an hour later. So it was good. Ended up working out. So that is one story that I was stuck and we weren't getting out there.
Hey,
that's
good,
for sure.
Good success story for the 200i. I mean, that's good. I've not had to use that yet.
Yeah.
Knock on wood. But.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, you always have that availability, which is nice.
Absolutely. Well, very cool, Weston. As we wrap up here, just a couple more things for you, if you don't mind. Talk to the new hunter out there, new upland rookie who maybe is just getting into bird hunting, the upland hunting. Maybe they're picking up their first bird dog. What's a piece of advice you'd give them?
Yeah, try to reach out to people, that kind of who have the perception, they know what's going on. I was fortunate enough, I had a grandpa that, helped me out on the Chukar hunting side. I had a dad that introduced me from very young. So I was fortunate there, always included me, always took me out on that side of things. But if you weren't fortunate enough to have that, reach out to people that are in it, and do it quite a bit and religiously as far as that goes. And, for the most part, they'll give you little tips, and, if somebody ever invites you hunting, don't go back, always ask them, maybe offer to drive. It's kind of a big thing with gas prices and different stuff like that. Or, somebody maybe not want to, scratch at their truck or anything like that.
Sure.
I always offer to drive because I know where I'll take my truck and it's pretty much anywhere, but you're hunting anybody next to you might not. So it's always good, if you're a little bit more free on that side to offer to drive on that side of things. And then, there is a lot of information out on the internet too. Feel free to, call your local biologist, see what the game bird biologist, see what they're seeing out there. And there is always, on every, you can go to Idaho or Nevada, Oregon, and then they'll give you kind of the, what would it be? The rapport of where the birds are in the areas, the mountain ranges, and they kind of have, the shaded regions. So you find chukars and huns here or grouse here type of deal. Nice. So, pay attention to that. Those are pretty accurate too. I've looked at those. So, and then, just kind of ask around and you just got to be out there in it, to kind of figure it out.
Yeah. That's great. That's great, man. Was that something you'll still do? Will you still call local biologists to get kind of updates year to year, or is that something you don't do anymore?
Not anymore. For the most part, just kind of do my own scouting, go, I have enough friends now that are kind of in it and some guys that we talk enough, we'll kind of figure out the general areas where the birds are, for the most part, too, you don't have to ask somebody, exactly where they were, what canyon or what spring were they on, you can just ask the mountain range, how's it looking out there, type of deal. And for the most part, you'll know those. For the most part, they'll probably give that up. I saw a few chicks out in this mountain range, right? It's not, you're not pinpointing anything, but you get a kind of general gist of what's going on out there.
Get someone on the general mountain range, which are huge.
Yeah,
and then,
general amount, or just close to cities. Hey, how's Winnemucca, hunting this year? Oh, it's not bad, or whatever it may be.
yeah, that's great, man. Well, very cool. All right, last section here. I'll ask you a couple rapid fire questions and just kind of give me your off the cuff answer. Some of these we might have answered already, but we're gonna take it from there. For you, Weston, what came first, the gun, the dogs, or hunting?
Hunting for sure.
Okay, hunting. Yeah. All right. I'm liking this question. I've only done it in a few episodes. It's been fun. How many clays have you ever hit in a row?
So most of the time I just shoot skeet. So the most I've done is 24 straight. I've missed on the last one. I've yet to shoot a crisp round of 25. So,
so close.
I'm still stuck on the 24 right now.
So close. That'll haunt you. All right. So we already talked about what gun you're carrying out into the field or up the Chukar Hill. And next question, favorite dog breed besides the ones you own?
Besides the one I've owned. I have a buddy, I'll give you two. I have a buddy that hunts with poodle pointers, and you don't see a lot of them out there. Yeah. But they're kind of cool dogs. They're kind of goofy looking dogs, but they point, they do everything else exactly the same as you expect your dog to do.
Totally.
They just got a little bit more, different style, and they're athletic with it, which is always fun. I always like hunting with athletic dogs. And then, I have a couple buddies that always come up and hunt with me, and they have Brittany's, which are cool to hunt around, a little smaller, a little bit different, on that side of things. Hunt a lot different than what I'm used to. Sure. I think, Brittany guys always joke around. It's like, hey, is your dog on point? It's not like the big long tail or, Brittany guys always know when their dog's on point. But never do.
Yeah. It might be hard to adjust.
Yeah.
Maybe you haven't seen a really good Brittany on point though.
Yeah.
And just for the record, everyone, I did not tell him to say Brittany. Okay.
Yeah.
I get so much crap for talking Brittany's all the time.
Yeah. No, I have a few guys, and we shot birds over them, and awesome. It's always fun.
That's awesome. Very cool. Is there a third dog in your future, or are you a two dog guy?
I'm a two dog guy for a while. I mean, I would love to take a puppy though every year. I know my dad, take a puppy every year, get it all, hunt it, learn it. I think that's kind of the coolest part is when they're figuring out and you're watching that. Yeah. And then go from there, but it's just not in the cards right now. So I'll stick to two for a while, and then you never know though. Yeah,
good. Go from there. You got good spacing because you got what, a 6-year-old and a 3-year-old.
Yeah, 6 and 3.
That's really good spacing.
Mm-hmm. No, it works. It works good.
That's great. Your dad still hunt with you quite a bit, or is he able to?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, he gets out quite a bit, and like I said, that's probably between him and my grandpa, and those are usually the two hunting partners I like to go with. And nice. I've won everybody hunting with pretty religiously, and then kind of fill in. I'm taking guys hunting from out of state. Yeah. On that side of things, guys I enjoy to hang out with. On that side of things, so it's always fun. Cool. Guys reach out, and as long as they're far enough away where I don't think my spots are in danger, I'll take them.
You have to. You got to protect some things, man. That's your right. Yeah. Just a couple more here. Favorite bird to hunt besides the chukar?
It's got to be mountain quail. I think they're such a cool, elegant bird. I grew up hunting them, and we were pretty fortunate when I grew up. It was kind of a boom stage for them. I felt like, or at least my dad tells me that it was. Compared to years. So now when you get them, they're kind of cool in Nevada. And there's a few spots you can get them on this side. I don't think, the east side of the Sierras hunts as true as the west sides did. The west side just seems to get a lot more moisture on that, but those are always fun birds for me. If you knock out a couple mountain quail, it's always a good day. That was one bird, if you always felt like you just got 2 or 3, it was a good day.
Yeah.
Either way.
Yeah. That's cool, man. That's cool. And last one, beverage of choice after a hunt.
Depending on who I'm hunting with, it'd probably be Keystone Light or Coors Light.
There you go. Coors Light. Come on.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
Those are probably the two of choice.
I was expecting a chukar hunter to say water. I think the last chukar hunter I had on here said, he's like, just water. Just give me water. Yeah. That's valid. That's valid. I'm sure, man. Well, Weston, this has been a blast, man. Thanks for sitting down with me and sharing some of your journey and a little bit more about chukar hunting. I think it's a really cool thing. I know I personally have to get out there and try, but it's cool hearing more about it.
Perfect. Yeah, no, I appreciate you having me on, Will. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely, man. If anyone wants to, I guess, connect with you, stay in touch, what's the best way to do that?
Yeah, probably Instagram or that's good.
Okay.
Yeah, probably Instagram is probably the best. I've probably most guys on there about chukar hunting, different stuff like that. Like I said, I've met some great guys through Instagram. Some guys I've taken hunting and stuff like that. So yeah, that's definitely always an option.
Is it Chukar1, right?
Yeah, it's Chukar_1.
Okay.
Kind of just the hunting account I run. So yeah,
cool.
Feel free
that's
to
awesome,
reach out
man.
there.
Well, Weston, thanks for your time, and it's great catching up with you.
Yeah, thank you, Will.
Take care. Well, that's a wrap of episode 49 with Weston Hatten of Chukar1. Weston, thank you so much for taking your time, sharing your story about just your adventures into Chukar country. I know being a former athlete like you were, you may have not had as much of a upward climb, so to speak, as some of us, but I think you were well conditioned for getting in those Chukar hills. So thank you again for sharing your wisdom, sharing your passion with us here on the podcast. Hey everyone, don't forget, get signed up for the July giveaway of the podcast over on patreon.com/the Upland Rookie Podcast. Get your name entered to win a Gunner Fan Kit 2.0. Also, leave a rating and review of the podcast on whichever platform you're listening to today. Until next time, don't forget, put some miles on those boots and follow your favorite bird dog.